And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You're joined once again with your host, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX CRM for the masses, as well as Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast, which you should check out 1000%, as well as hyperClean car care products.
Listen, I know there's plenty of people that listen that do check it out because they send you and I messages.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. And the best feeling, though, is when they send those messages and they're like, I just implemented this from last week's episode and already they're seeing results, stuff like that. Like, man, here's a shout out to the doers, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Doers.
Hell yeah, man. Doers. Known a lot of people that make lists over the years. And the big difference is execution. Like you make a list and you just work the list. You wake up the next day, you work what's left, and then you make a new list when that one's done, and you work that list. That's all.
Next month, guess what you do? The same fucking thing over and over.
Exactly.
That is really, we talk about, hey, what'd you do this weekend, right? That's a lot of what I did this weekend was think about the list. And I actually think a lot about, I spent some reflection time this weekend. I had quite a bit of some free time, did some definite just sit out on the couch. It's, we're getting into those warm nights and just watch the sunset. Seems strange. It used to seem strange to me. You just sit and watch a sunset. But man, trust me, seems fucking weird.
But those moments
until you're old, and then you go, boy, I'm nothing better on a Saturday night. Sit down, watch the sunset. Ding.
Exactly. I know. Now we're the guys that sit on the porch, and it's just swinging back and forth, just watching shit.
It sounds crazy until you do it, and it feels natural. Then it doesn't seem crazy anymore.
And I tell you, those moments though, like holy shit! Like for me, I was coding some stuff for this new payment provider we're working with, and I was like pulling my hair out, trying to figure something out. And they had not a typo per se, but they were missing 2 sentences out of their documentation, and that was crucial to get it to work. Anyway, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, why can't I figure this out? Like, I'm a fucking sharp guy. I'm really smart. Like, what the hell's going on? I have my moments, but I'm a sharp guy. So I told my wife, I said, she sees me there, like trying to figure shit out. And I said, I'm just going to close it down and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to skip. So I went outside and I skipped for 20 minutes. And then, I skipped. Old boxing habit. But,
like what were you down thinking? The street? Skipping?
Yeah, you were like down the street. Yeah, I skipped him a loop. No, no. I went skipping like exercise. Yeah. So I went skipping. Well done though. But sometimes I do skip like that though, but that's usually to embarrass my wife. If there's like people and she's trying to be all prim and proper, I start skipping beside her and she gets so embarrassed. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I went outside and did some skipping because it was something that was going to be just repetitive action. I didn't have to move. I didn't have to think about, like, oh, I got to look over my shoulder. There's a car coming, stuff like that. I'm just in my driveway. So I could just think. And so I went outside and skipped, but I always do it at the same time as the sun's going down. And so it's the same kind of thing.
So we have a guy that made some some local news.
Okay.
Because he's the old boxer that goes out to that random place that's, beautiful, nice scenery drive that we all love to go to. But he just gets in that random spots and does all of his old, he'll be out there for 30 minutes to an hour doing all of his old routines.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. Do people slow down and take pictures the way I do of the old guy? Or, are you?
Yeah, our street's not that busy.
So, okay.
Yes, not here. But my old place, is where I used to live. Oh, this is going back like 12 years now. But me and this other guy, we used to spar as well outside. And so people would sometimes just pull up chairs and they would just watch us outside. But back then I was training pretty hard. We were training for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every day, which was sparring. And that might not sound like a lot, but we're not talking about going to the gym here. We're talking about fucking shadow punching and then punching each other for like an hour and a half. It's a big deal. And so we would do that and people would pull out chairs and they would watch. And that's where even my wife now, she used to watch as well. And she was like,
she
man,
did.
Nothing better. Yeah, she was like, nothing better. She was like a tiger back then. but yeah, it was, yeah, so now it's mostly, well, one of my neighbors does watch, which is just more creepy than anything. He's an old dude, so usually I'll turn my back and face the house when that happens. This is true story.
That's even worse. I bet you he came for some of your tips, didn't he?
Yeah. He couldn't handle it. But it's a ride he wouldn't survive. Jesus. We've gone way off course here. But
we hadn't even started.
Yeah. Whew, geez. But yeah, so I had some reflection time as well, and I got to reflect on, things that are going on. Because we have a lot of home rental stuff going on right now, and then it's a lot to manage that, all these little projects, plus stuff at the shop, plus our other businesses. It's a lot of stuff. So yeah, you got to take that time to just kind of reflect on things. It might seem, some people have hobbies that, I don't know, like the knit sweaters or whatever the hell people do, but me, that's almost a hobby of mine, is just planning things out. It feels so good, man. You do it, and then you look at the list, and then seeing as things get crossed off and you check off things on that list. I don't know. For me, that's my Mount Everest. That's like it just feels good doing shit. Yeah. But
I was reflecting on that, and I was also thinking about a message that you sent me.
Oh shit!
And it was a message from somebody else that had listened to the last podcast that you and I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it really meant a lot that somebody took the time to send you that message to tell us thank you.
Yeah.
And
it's true. And out of the blue too. Like, we weren't even talking. He just sent a message and said, "Hey, by the way."
Ultimately, when I found this out, when you take a stance.
Yeah.
And we took a stance. It will divide people, and people will ultimately go one way or the other, because they have to. And when people send that thank you, and people say, "Hey, we understand what you're saying." Listen, we've had people even reach out to me that said, "We've been wanting somebody to say stuff like this that you've been saying for the past years," right? Like,
please, someone say so, because they see it.
Exactly.
And everyone else is just going with the flow.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Nick and I, we get those messages on a regular basis. So to see that coming in the OrbisX side, because you and I had those discussions, man, it really did do one of those, like, yes.
Yeah. That's why I sent it to you right away. So
exactly. We talked last week of KPI, right? And that was under something else.
Yeah.
This is a true KPI, key performance indicator.
Yeah.
When you can say your opinion about something that's going on in whatever world that you're in, and you can voice a tangible, basically it has to be tangible. You have to actually have valid information, and not just, because there's people that go on the internet and just run their mouth, right?
Sure. Loads of them.
Loads of them. But we actually have tangible information that we put out too. And so what that does is it builds the leadership. Yeah. It builds the camaraderie, and the people that understand, boy, they get it, and they dive even heavier in, and even more supporting of, then start to battle the people that are doing the wrong in the industry. Like, we had a lot of stuff start coming out, especially of other things from this last weekend, right? Like, we won't go into that, but what you saw out of that was a lot of people realizing, oh shit, the world's changed.
Yep.
The people that they thought had influence didn't and don't.
Yeah. It's true.
People that some have listened to are starting to realize, oh, nobody else is listening to them. Yeah. Nobody else is buying from them. Nobody else is inside their CRM.
Because they were just regurgitating the same shit.
Because they were just regurgitating. And so it looked, because all those groups and all those people joined together in a sense with a big old, one of those big old winks that we talked about, right? Hey there, buddy, I'm going to help you out.
I'm going to take care of you.
Take care of you. They all joined together. So any of those joined together that people have seen, and you start talking about the things, well, then they all start coming over. Everybody else starts coming over. And it's like, oh yeah, we see the dark side. We now see it. And it's crazy, the amount of people that are starting to pour over. It's awesome.
It's true. It is. And that's where I think there was kind of like waves. Like there was this whole thing that people jumped on. They were like, oh geez, I'm not really good at what I'm doing. I can't really run a shop. I can't really this and that. So let me jump on this information train, do some research, regurgitate what other people are saying, or just jump on whatever. But They're not offering any new value. They're not offering anything of real substance. And so people at first, you know, caught on to, oh my God, this is new. I'm learning shit. I'm doing stuff, whatever. But then as that fire starts to dwindle, the candle starts to go out. People, that's where they realize you're just sitting in a dark room now, and there's nothing. There's no more fuel left, you know. And it's like, Jesus. But that's where you know, I'm really appreciative when people send those messages, like you know, and now we're getting them more often, more frequently and stuff. And it's nice because they're just unprompted, and it lets us be reassured, I guess, that
but it's because you and I actually took a stance.
Yeah, we did. We drew a line in the sand. We're like, fuck, man, this is bullshit. Like, it is. And that's where and I'm happy too to see that there's still some, like, a large group of free thinkers that are out there, that, people that get it, people that just don't, you know, jump on a train and where are we going? I don't know. Where are we going? I don't know. And they're just along for the ride. But you know, no clear direction, no nothing. So I'm happy about that. Absolutely. And that's where it's funny, you know, because when I think about these podcasts all the time, I always run the ideas by my daughter, my eldest, because she shoots me straight. She'll take a stand against me. She's not just, you know, everyone's got their cheerleaders. So, you know, if you run ideas by your cheerleaders, what are they going to do? Fucking clap. You know what I mean? That's all they're going to do. I run it by my eldest because I pick her up from school every time before we have our podcast. I say, hey, listen, here's a few things I was thinking to talk about today. What are your thoughts? And she'll tell me straight up. And sometimes it hurts my feelings. But anyways, she always listens to the episodes afterwards. So I'm calling her out on purpose right now. But yeah, so she takes a very vested interest in business. She wants to learn things like that, about the real stuff. But most importantly, she's been trying to overcome some obstacles with, like, public speaking, things like that. So she wants to kind of see how I handle things. Anyway, that's another topic. But point is,
what's her favorite snack?
Oh man, right now these little Jello things.
So basically, you got to reward her for new Jello things, right? I mean, she's going to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
So now she's going to require little Jello things whenever she starts working for you. Bounce those ideas off. You know,
this is true. Yeah,
a pack of Jello things.
What we do right now is I ordered some of the like Monopoly money on Amazon, and it's no joke. Hear me out. So she gets the Monopoly money, which can be redeemed for real money. Okay, but that way I can also take it away. You know, she fights with her sister. Hey, that's going to cost you $5. You do this, you're going to earn $5. You know, things like that. So yeah, that's no joke. But then she can, when we go to the store, she can cash those in for her favorite treats and stuff like that.
All right. Yeah. So Shawn's tip for the day is going to
only one. I get
involve one. Family counseling and how to raise your children.
And you think I'm joking? Big bag.
Stacks. Got mad stacks.
Mad stacks.
You actually have them wrapped too, huh? They're little paper wrap.
Look at that. See, we got some hundos. Awesome. And look, we used to do stickers. They weren't working, so we
graduated from stickers after the 5th grade.
Yeah, the stickers didn't work, surprisingly, because of the colors. Actually, they were associating certain sticker colors with different things. I didn't assign any kind of a point system, like, oh, red ones or this or that, but they would get a red one and be like, oh, did I not do so well? So it was confusing. So now I went back to the old money racks, you know. Be like that guy. You ever see those GIFs where the guy's like, he's on the phone, he's holding all the racks. But no, it works well though. Incentives, which you know, real quick tip, because I know you're going to cut me off to just one. Speaking of incentives, I had. You mean
you're going for number 2, or is this number 3?
Well, that was a parenting tip. So this is a work tip now. We tried something new that was kind of cool at the shop. So we did this thing for reviews, which was pretty cool. And what we did is we're still doing the same process where we mention it every step of the way, but we put up a board in our waiting room that shows our goal for our reviews, how many we're at for the month, and what our goal is. And customers started asking about it. So, oh, I see you have a review scoreboard. What's that about? And we tell them, well, our guys are really excited. We're going to have a big pizza party for them and their spouses at the end of the month if we hit our target. And so it had like a little meter, you know, and we were coloring it in as it goes and stuff. And anyway, so people started asking about it. and we've seen an influx in reviews, and we always have an influx anyways. So it was an influx on an influx, which was good. But yeah, so it's been working out well. So little subconscious type things like that. So if you can place some things around that let your customers know, you know, like that told them reviews are really important to us without us even having to say anything. They would see it, ask questions. It's a waiting room. What are they doing there? They wait. So they're waiting. They're either waiting to pick up their car, they're waiting to be serviced, or whatever the case may be. And when they're there, they see these kinds of things. But yeah, so that's been working out really well. So that's kind of a mini tip for today. That doesn't really count. Still, we'll put it in the bouquet, but it's still
none of them ever, quote unquote, right?
None of them ever count, quote unquote. Absolutely. But you know, something
I like what you said. We'll throw it in the bouquet, though. That makes it. Then we don't have to give it a negative. Then we don't have to say it doesn't count.
Exactly.
It should. Actually, really good tips. You just throw it in the bouquet.
We'll throw it in the bouquet because it's not the major one. Exactly. Yeah. But I do have a really good tip.
What's that green? What's that?
Baby's breath.
Baby's breath.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. My old business partner used to have a flower shop. That's why I know all these things. Yeah. You're like, sure, yeah, you and the neighbor across the street. Yeah. But yeah, so this weekend something great but not so great happened to me. I bought all 4 of the John Wick movies, all 4 of them, because I was going to buy just John Wick 4, going to watch it, and they had a deal at cineplex.com where I could get all 4 of them for a bundle. It's like, done deal. Haven't watched it yet. Went on Facebook, and some people said, John Wick 4, what a letdown. Other people said, terrible movie, this and that. So now I don't know what to do. Because if I watch it, that's now in my brain, right? But I also might watch it and then be like, man, I've got to unsubscribe those 2 people from my life because they don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I don't care.
I'm watching it. Well, fuck yeah, I paid for it. So I'm definitely watching it.
Yeah.
But it's 3 hours long. I started to watch it. I made it about maybe 30 minutes in and I passed out. So we started at 1 o'clock. I was really tired that day. Just didn't happen. So I'm going to watch it for sure. But it got me thinking. I was like, I wonder if that's really going to alter how I feel about it. Because I haven't shared with my wife the comments that I saw online. So I'm not going to say anything to her. I'm going to let her watch it with her belief that the last ones were awesome. And I'm going to kind of compare at the end how I feel about the movie and how she feels. And then it got me thinking about things where the information, where we get our information from. We've talked about this a million times.
So what makes a movie bad for you? Like, let's just go in particular, John Wick. Right. What are you going to look for? And you go,
Very good question. Very good question. So one thing that drives me nuts about movies, and this is what killed the Fast and Furious franchise for me, is when they go over the top. When there's too much special effects, or even if it's a scenario where, like Jason Statham, this happens a lot. You know what I mean? Put him in a room with like 90 guys. He's like blocking bullets with his elbow. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm good if he fights his way out, but yeah, when they're shooting all the time and never
hit
getting
anything.
Like
every bad guy has the worst aim. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. And especially, and me too, I count the shots. So if someone's got a certain gun or something like that, I know approximately how many bullets fit in there. And if he's just shooting like 100 shots, but I know it's like, you haven't even changed a clip in the last 5 minutes, that bothers me too, you know, because it takes away the realism, you know, like there's actually a thing in advertising. So with cups, so when they have someone that drinks out of a coffee cup, usually they'll put some liquid in it, no matter what it is. And the reason is because the weight is different. So you don't pretend to drink a cup because you'll notice it.
You can. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. A lot of times you'll see it on late nights or, something. Yeah. They're like this. You can tell they're like trying to act like they're drinking.
Exactly. Like, and you're like, there's nothing.
Dude, that wasn't natural.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like if I pick up this glass and there's nothing in it, the weight is different. So I hold it different, bring it up too fast. And you're like, whoa, something's off. It's manufactured. And so that's where those little subtleties are important. So I think in movies, that's what kills it for me. But the other thing is with sequels in particular, at a certain point, I don't want a continuation of number 1 anymore. I'm assuming that's already been dealt with in number 2 or 3, and now he's dealing with some other problem. You know what I mean? And so that's where they've done a good job thus far, where each one was building up who John Wick is and, the storyline there. but it didn't focus too much on the last one. So I don't know. I don't know what this one, I don't know what I'm in store for, but 3 hours. Whew, tell you, a lot could go right in 3 hours. A lot could go wrong.
So I'm with you on the random shootings and the like over the top. And then the other side is if it's, and I'm same Fast and Furious, big, huge, anything Malaysia. Because I've spent so much time there, I love watching stuff there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I'll still even watch, people I'll go onto YouTube. I did it this weekend and I'll watch street foods. And people will walk around trying street foods. Yeah. I love watching that stuff. So that one in Malaysia at KL, Kuala Lumpur, where they've got the Twin Towers and he fly, one across car over the next. Yeah. It's like, I was at the Twin Towers. It's a cool place. Like KL's a really cool city. But once they did that, I was like, that ain't. No.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's a little.
I don't think I watched another one after that. I really don't.
No way.
I don't think I did. That was the last one I watched.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I think, to be honest, I think that's probably where I stopped too. I will be watching the new one that's coming out. I think in June or July. It might be this month, but maybe it's. Did it already come out? Fuck. There's no way.
I was gonna question if it already came out, but I'm not sure. There's a guy that was gonna do. This is what's cool here locally. There's a guy putting together a car show. At
centered around. Oh shit!
And I went, nicely done, man. Great idea.
Hats off for that, man.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah. That's see, that relates to my tip. I'll bring it up in a minute, but that's it. See, shit. Interception, seeing things.
Drink.
But yeah, no, that's great, man. Like those are the great. I love when I see things like that come together, where someone like the pieces just fit, and that idea moment happens for that person. They're like, oh, this and this, boom. It's like the PB&J, it's I love when I see that kind of stuff, man. That's awesome. But I'm really hoping I'm not let down by this movie. But it got me thinking, who we listen to, who we surround ourselves with, and then everything that we've realized that happened this past weekend that we're not going to dive into, but people can ask about it later on.
I think they understand.
Yeah, I think they understand as well. And but yeah, it got me thinking, it's one of those things where if you go to Google, for example, and you type in, are carrots good for my vision? You're going to get a bunch of listings, why carrots are great. But if you go to Google and you type in, why are carrots bad for my vision? You're also going to get a bunch of shit. And depending on how you, ask questions or the kind of information you're seeking out, those are the results you're going to get. So including when people go in Facebook and they say, hey, what should I charge for this or something like that? And one of the other CRMs that we know is at that thing that we're not going to talk about. One thing that they always prided themselves on is the fact that they will fill in your pricing and your features for you. So we'll tell you what's in your package and we'll tell you how much it should cost. I'm like, that's terrible. Scary. Yeah, it's like, can you please stay the fuck out of my business? Like, Jesus. Because then, you're going to see that and be like, oh shit, so that's what I should charge for this. When your overhead, your inventory, your staffing, your customer acquisition costs, all of that is going to be different compared to some other place. It's a terrible, terrible way to go about things. 100%. You want advice? That's where Find the Right Mentors, listen to our podcasts, things like that. You're going to find a lot of valuable information, we'll give you formulas and ideas on how you can come to those numbers, but we're not going to tell you why carrots are bad for your vision. It's that kind of thing. So that's where, that I'll put that in the bouquet, but it's not a tip. It's a tip. It's okay. Well, technically, it goes in the bouquet. Okay. It qualifies. There we go. So sorry, you're getting a bouquet of tips today. Yeah, I thought I was only going to have one today. Damn. But you're like, yeah, right. So I did something cool this weekend.
First show, you might have had 1.5.
Yeah, maybe 1.5. Still more than one. That's true though. I wonder, I should go back and add up all the tips over the last, You're like, no. All right. So I did something pretty cool this weekend, and here's a life hack. All right. We'll put it in the bouquet, but it's a life hack. So I did something. You ever heard of the 55-5 rule? No?
Evidently I haven't, because I kept trying to scroll through my Rolodex in my mind.
No, I got nothing.
Nothing landed. Nothing landed.
All right, fair enough. No, that's good. So you'll like this one. I think you'll actually really like this one. So 55.5.
My Rolodex does have a AA battery at least. Remember when those came out?
Yes.
And it was that automatic Rolodex? Fuck yeah, man. That was crazy.
That was the shit. I know.
Yes.
It's true. You know, that kind of technology. Oh, man. The other day, we were playing some cards, and I brought out a card shuffler. And guys are like, who has a card shuffler? I think I've had this thing for like 15, 20 years. I was like, don't most people have a card shuffler? It's like, you
don't play cards
by hand? Like, what do you do?
What's your problem?
But we had to change the battery in it because I hadn't used it in a while. And it takes one of those, you know, those C batteries, those like big fuckers that look like it. Yeah.
Tough to
Who just has one of those on
hand?
You know what I mean? Nothing takes a C battery anymore. Everything's like USB or it's something.
Listen, trade some of those Monopoly dollars and I bet you can get one, you know?
Here we go. Here, let me give you a couple. Jesus. But okay, so 55.5. So last week, I started this and I did it throughout the week. And I think this is now going to be something I do permanently, to be honest. So every hour that I worked, at the end of the hour, I would take 5 minutes. So basically I would work 55 minutes and then I would take 5 minutes and I would write down what I did for that hour or the 55 minutes. I wrote down it just bullet points. So, you know, sent an email for 20 minutes, you know, jumped on a phone call for 15, whatever the case may be. I wrote them down. At the end of the day, took 3 highlighters. I took a red one, a yellow one, and a green one. The red one, I highlighted any task that made 0 money. The yellow one, I highlighted tasks that would lead to money, but didn't make money today. And then the green ones, I highlighted tasks that made money today. The end of the week, I reviewed everything and I could see what percentage each day I did activities that were completely meaningless in terms of productivity towards earning money. Then I could see ones, okay, how much time did I spend on things that would lead to money? And then, of course, the ones that, you know, direct cause and effect. I did this, money came in, so on and so forth. And it was really interesting to see how things progressed and which days of the week. There were 2 days that I always thought, like Wednesday, for example, I call it my productivity day because I basically shut down everything, no devices, no nothing. And all I do is focus on whatever work I want to get done. All the other days, I thought, okay, well, I probably get less done than Wednesdays because Wednesday's my productivity day. I was surprised, man. Wednesday was almost on par with my Thursday and Friday, even though I call it a productivity day and I shut down all my devices and everything. And the reason being is what was happening is my first hour of the day, my last hour of the day, I was doing almost 100% red activities, almost 100%. So it was 2 hours completely gone. Even though it's a productivity day, I still had to, you know, check random emails. I still had to, you know, do some couple quick phone calls, stuff like that. So I was losing 2 hours, 100%. But the other days, I would only spend maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes maximum on you know, each 55-minute period on things that were just time wasters. It was pretty interesting. So anyway, that was something I did that was just kind of a life hack that, you know, documenting, and maybe you don't even have to get that serious. You could go and say, okay, I'm going to, at the end of the day, write down, you know, the jobs that I did and how many of these jobs were, maybe it was a tint refinement. Okay. We didn't make any money on that, but kept the customer happy. So that could be yellow, leading to money down the future. You know, maybe I had an hour-long conversation with the Yellow Page group and I'm not taking an ad in the Yellow Pages. So that's, you know, a red, you know, obviously. So things like that. So I don't know. It was kind of cool exercise, I think. And I saw it in a Facebook short or reel or whatever they call them now. I saw it in one of those things. Some guy was talking about it and I said, you know, let me try that, you know? So that's basically what I did last week. And I spent my week planning for it in terms of like how I'm going to do the next one. So it's kind of, I'm just changing things. So I'm still going to do a productivity do Wednesday tomorrow, but I'm going to change how I do things. And instead, I'm going to take 0 emails and 0 phone calls for the whole day. And then see if I can, you know, get more yellow and green on there. You know, it was pretty cool. Anyway, that was
cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Pretty cool exercise. Yeah.
It is a cool exercise. I think if the people that also join you in that, they'll gain a lot of value out of it too. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Agreed.
Just helps become more productive, because at the end of the day, during your productive hours, like we're only alive for, how many years, you got to make the most of it. And you'd be amazed when you start tracking your time. One of the bonuses of being a boss, right? Yeah. Like nobody tracks your time when you're the boss. But if you're not tracking your time, you'd be amazed. You got some habits that if they were your employees, you'd probably be having a talk with your employees and saying, hey,
you're absolutely right. I coughed at myself.
Yeah, exactly. Because like sometimes I get distracted. Next thing you know, I'm like watching a documentary. It's like, holy shit, I should be working right now.
Well, I'm part of my quote unquote job, right? Like quote unquote, what I do throughout the day, I have to be on social media.
It's true. And so next thing you know,
there's times like I've had to tell this to Nick, like he'll call and be like, what are you up to? I'm like, God damn it, dude. My bad. Like fuck, like I was doing this. And the next thing I know, and he goes, yeah, I do it too. And it's like, shit,
it happens.
It happens, like you're working, but next thing, you see this and then you go over this and it's like 2 hours later, like
next thing you know, you're on
even
Amazon.
30 minutes, dude, even 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll even go, shit. I'll play off 20 minutes and go like, I give myself a 20-minute break, but I'm like, okay,
now it's time to,
now you went on, like, come on, dude, get your shit together.
It's true. Yeah. And the thing is too, like as high performers, 20 minutes, I know what I can get done in 20 minutes.
And the people that are detailing like full time now don't understand what we just talked about. They have no clue because most of them are in their, and this is where they go, I'm grinding.
Yeah. It's like,
that's why, because you were head down grinding. You didn't think of other things. So there's part of that word that I do understand why people say, well, I was just head down grinding. Great. Good for you. Like, my head was up. I'm trying to climb. And when your head's up trying to climb, sometimes you catch some random clouds and you just kind of like to.
You're like, whoa, did you see
the
that
clouds
bird?
When they go by, like, hey, it is what it is,
It's true. It's so true.
So this weekend while I was doing some, some of that stuff, I also was thinking about, because this is what you do when you reflect, you also like, you really do begin to reflect about things you missed out on.
Yeah.
That is ultimately, and you get talking to anybody that's an older person. It seems like the older you get, when people take time, and most people don't take the time until they're really old and their retirement and, their last 10 to 15, they're out to pasture, they're just kind of
too late.
That's the point. Yeah. Or you get those mid 40 guys that have that, what do they call it? Midlife crisis, because they think back of what they missed out on.
Yeah.
So many of us, myself included. Oh, listen, I talked to my mom. Not that I said, hey, what did you miss out on? I didn't ask that question, but was talking to her about stuff that, of her life and things that her and dad did and stuff like that. And she openly, and so I'm going to say to everybody that's listening, sort of your homework for the week is to go talk to some older people. Go ask them about opportunity. That word sounds awesome. And it sounds like there's more opportunity than there are tips in Shawn's bouquet.
Yeah, 100%.
It seems that way. However, opportunities come and go very quickly. They go much quicker than they come. And most people, when they climb through their ages, they begin to have regrets about the opportunities that they did not get to work on. Usually people don't go back and regret. Now, the one thing that everybody will always say, well, there's old people that they regret how much they worked. And they wish they would have spent more time with their family. That is true. There are some people that are that way. Most look back with regret of what they did not accomplish, what they did not try. I began, my mom, like I said, as I talked to her, she talked about, gosh, his name was Marshall. I had told Marshall, like, we really needed to, invest in this new company that was called Apple.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
But he worked with IBM.
Oh. Dang.
Yeah, right? So nobody knows, but back then, those two didn't work together.
Oh, yeah. That was a huge,
right?
That was the main reason Apple started.
So they never did, right?
Dang.
And she's just in that. Now she doesn't hang on to it like so many people do, but that is a regret of her life. I have a regret too. And a lot of mine was because the early parts of my life, I was so religious. And I have no problem with the structure of what religion did for me. Taught me a lot of self-discipline. Because inside of religion,
so many things in life.
There's things you can't do that are natural for a human being.
Yeah.
And if you are true to the religion, then you do not do those things. Now, there's a lot of these, gray area type stuff.
Sure.
But there's certain innate things in religion you absolutely do not do.
Yeah.
And I didn't do them. And I look back at some of those things in life of being a young man, specifically remembered a trip when I was in South Africa. I'm sitting in Cape Town. Oh, so romantic. One of the, was it the 7 Wonders of the World?
Yeah.
And there was some, there was this moment, right? There was opportunities and there was this moment. And I just go, right? Like it's time in Mexico, right? I just started going through these places opportunities that I missed out on.
Yeah.
Regret, right?
Yeah.
Regret sucks as a 2020 vision.
Yeah.
One thing is definitely dominant inside of the auto detailing world right now, and that is do not miss out on opportunities. Because the way the environment is right now, you could talk about economy, you could talk about what happened this weekend, you could talk about just the overall vibe of the industry. And you go, wow, who's going to miss out on what happens next? Because right now, everything's kind of blah, except a few opportunities that keep popping up.
Yeah.
I don't deny it. Absolutely. Distribution for me was an incredible opportunity that paved the way to be where I'm at today. I don't regret anything about taking the chance at having the opportunity to distribute product. It gave me a way so that I could build a car care business, not just be a detailer. With the way my life is today at 45, going through spinal stenosis, recovering from half of my body going dormant, people not understanding what it means like to regrow muscle, to reconnect your brain with your legs.
Yeah.
There is zero chance that if I look back now and did not take that opportunity when it happened, there's zero chance I would be alive today, first of all. And second of all, I wouldn't have been near the quality of person that I am today. Zero. Wow. I wouldn't. I would have kept doing so many other bad habits, so many other things that would have continued to dwindle my body. Listen, my wife, she's struggling with it now. And I've started talking to her about not only is it the quality of the chemical, because she has done what so many detailers do, run to the store and grab the cheapest thing that they can find.
Yeah.
So grabbing cheap products mean you got to work harder, and it means you're inhaling as well as putting onto your body chemicals that you shouldn't be putting on there. Shouldn't. And it begins to wear her body down, as well as then what she's doing with work, like everything that she's doing, it's doing this.
Cumulative effect is just,
Cumulative effect, right? So we're really, I pushed hard with Aaron. We've chatted with him more. We're got to get, that's what I love about OrbisX, is I've got to get some stuff off of her plate.
100%.
Right? I've got to take the opportunity of using OrbisX, and I've got to get some things off of her plate. I've got to get their customers to be able to make their own schedule. I've got to get them to accept or deny and then build out her schedule and have a customer interaction using OrbisX so it takes that off of her plate. I've got to change the products that she's using because they're not beneficial to her health or her teammate. They're working too hard. And once again, too much bad shit. So I'm taking this opportunity right now to go, great. This is what I need to do for her, because if I don't,
then the future is going to be.
The future ain't looking good.
Yeah.
Her body's going to continue to go bad. Listen, I ain't going to get laid. Let's just be real clear. There's the number one reason why we're doing all this. Daddy's got to get some, right? And if mama's tired, she ain't giving it. So daddy's got to get a little bit more.
Get some of her time back.
Golly, right? So I want everybody to hear this, because I get it, you're listening, but if you're not using OrbisX to its maximum potential, you're wasting your time. Your opportunity is going to continue to slip you by.
100%.
And when you get older, you're just going to look back and go, I wonder what. I wonder. Man, wow. Geez.
Exactly. Yeah.
So don't sleep on opportunity. Get going 100%. With OrbisX. If you see in your area that you could sell products, let's talk about distribution, because you can add $100,000 the rest of this year.
It's true.
Another $100K.
You and I
next
were just
year
talking
you can
with
have
member.
two. Yeah, like it's
we
crazy.
Were just talking with the member. He's not far from my shop. Yeah, well, he's about 5 hours away, but he's realized that too. You know, he's a young guy, but he sees the future. He's like, hey, he can't do this forever. And even if he can, he's going to subcontract out the work, but he's got to have something else in place, right? So he sees that opportunity. He messaged and said, hey, how do I get going with some stuff? So we're sending him a little care package now, and then he's going to try out some different things and buy more. And he wants to do the distribution stuff, you know? That's where it starts, is he sees that opportunity.
So will we be able to, Aaron was talking to me about add-ons.
Yeah. Oh, upsells. Love upsells.
Upsells and add-ons, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing that we'll do with her is going to be, something to help take care of a carpet stain, right? Or, it's not just the service. We're going to offer to her customers, if they are in need of something in between her cleanings, a product to clean it, right? That's going to be a perfect thing for guys when they have a customer add a car on and pay for a service. Hey, we see that, this is a XYZ service. Here's what we would recommend to maintain your car. And it will be a simple add-on that they can just click. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Boom. But if you don't take advantage of the opportunity now,
then you don't have that. Exactly. It's funny you mentioned that. I got to touch on this real quick, because I've heard a lot of detailers before talk about how they want to keep their products almost secret. They don't want the customer to have access to them, because that's what makes them
secret sauce.
Yeah, it's their secret sauce. That's why they come to me, right?
Bullshit.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit too. And I think your better opportunity is taking those customers and selling them the same product that they can use at home, because they're coming to you because of laziness most times. You know what I mean? And so you're offering that convenience for them. But then at their home, they've got a lot of other stuff inside the house that they could protect, that they could clean, that, it's...
If you... My bad. I cut you off.
Oh, no worries.
If you hear that again, and I think anybody that's listening that'll say, oh yeah, I've heard that. If you hear somebody that talks about their secret sauce and they don't want, I think you should just look at them and say, I feel for you, man.
Yeah.
I really feel for you.
Yeah. And tell them 2 words. Good luck. But yeah,
you really should. At that point, you really should. I was going to, yeah. You really should say just good luck and turn and walk away.
Sorry, I'm taking a stand.
That is the best answer, so I won't say anything else. That is the best answer.
I was taking a stand. I was like,
say, I'm sorry. I feel for you.
I'm sorry. I feel.
And then walk away. Yeah, that probably is best.
Yeah, absolutely. Because crazy thing is, so there's a cleaning company that's one of my clients in my other business. So Green Bucket, she does similar to your wife. She does like house cleaning, residential cleaning, things like that. And so I recently given her some of the products, and I said, just try them out. Let me know how they work and stuff. She's blown away by them, number one. But number two is that she upsold all of them. And so at first I gave them to her for free just to try out. She actually sent me money. She sent me an e-transfer and said, I got to pay for them. And I said, no. I said they were free. She said, yeah, but I made money on them. So she said, go for it. So she paid me. And what it was is she coated someone's shower. Okay, number one. And she's been using the glass cleaner like crazy. So she told me works amazingly well on mirrors, which got me thinking. And I was like, why the fuck didn't I try that on my mirrors in my house? In my bedroom, my master, my entire closet, we've got floor to ceiling. I thought you were going to say ceiling. Mirrors.
God damn it. I was hoping you said ceiling.
I can't get too much into it. My brother-in-law listens to this. But we've got floor to ceiling mirrors in the front of our bed, our marital bed. Jesus. And sometimes our neighbor across the street watches, but it's fine. He's just taking the opportunity. No regrets. What was that? What was that show? No Regrets. The guy had the tattoo across. Oh man, I think it's Meet the Millers. Where, anyways, they're like bringing drugs across the border to like. Anyway, his daughter meets this young kid, and he's talking to kids. He's like, "What do you want with my daughter?" and stuff. And the guy's got a tattoo across his chest, and it says "No Regrets." It's spelled wrong, and he says, "Are you sure? Are you sure you have no regrets? None, not a single one." But yeah, I think regrets are definitely it's funny, because I always take opportunities when I can, like even things like the OrbisX, like we tried 40 plus different softwares when we started the shop, and it was like, fuck, everything out there is garbage. So I saw an opportunity. I said, well, let's build it for ourselves. At least we have it for ourselves, for our shop, run it smoothly. And then I saw the opportunity that, man, we could sell this. So started selling it. It's you see opportunities when they present themselves, but a lot of people are scared to execute. So you gotta, make those lists, work the list. That's all it is, piece by piece, brick by brick. That's how castles get built. And so, yeah, opportunities are hugely important. All right, so I'm gonna just breeze through my tip real quick for today. Like, what the fuck?
You got another one?
I actually do have a tip. So I was listening. I'll be quick. I was listening to this thing about dragonflies on the weekend, and out of all the animals, dragonflies have a 100% kill rate.
Oh yeah, you were talking to me about that. Okay,
yeah,
I'm ready
it's
to get
insane, man. Because all other animals, it's like owls, eagles, it's like 25-30% max, which means that like if they're chasing something, 75% of the time they get nothing. They just get nothing. And so dragonflies, though, 100% kill rate, which is pretty crazy. And they used to be a lot bigger. The Earth, we had a lot more oxygen at the time. So animals were bigger, dinosaurs, all that kind of shit. If you believe in that, we're not going to get into that. But dragonflies used to be big. They got smaller as the oxygen, was less abundant. So they got smaller. But they haven't really evolved much since that time because they were kind of perfect. And they do a special kind of hunting technique. Most things are like, even humans, we chase after stuff. You chase after a rabbit or a deer. Animals, the same kind of thing. You chase something and you're always chasing. And I find it's the same with most things in life. We're chasing customers. We're chasing this, chasing that. The other option is trapping, right? So humans do that a lot. And I think Facebook marketing is a mix of both. I think you're chasing customers, and I also think you're just kind of putting up something and hoping that someone falls in your trap, and they're like, I hope I catch a customer today, that kind of thing. So I wanted to talk about a more proactive approach called interception, where you can predict where your customer is going to be and then be there for them. And that's how dragonflies hunt. Is dragonflies catch and eat mid-flight. But they don't do it by chasing. Occasionally they chase, but 99% of the time they intercept. And so what they do is they've got these eyes that are very perceptive. They can see all around them, behind them, in front of them, everywhere. And they predict where their prey is going to be. And then they go there and catch them midair, gobble them up. And you can do this in your business as well. And how you do it is everyone's on Facebook, everyone's on YouTube, everyone's on this and that. They're all on these platforms because you just click a bunch of buttons, boom, you've got an ad posted. Whether their ads are successful or not, even the unsuccessful ones are increasing your ad spend. So the more people that advertise there, the higher your ad spend has to be to break through the noise. But when everyone's doing that, just like we've talked about, where everyone in the industry goes a certain direction, there's a gap, there's a void, and you can fill that gap by using an interception type technique, just like the Dragonfly. So we do a lot of online marketing, but we also do a tremendous amount of offline marketing as well, but we do it in smart ways. And we look at where our customers are going to be. And how do we do that? Well, we know they drive cars. We know what our demographic is. We know it's, people of certain, statuses in life, people with certain, vehicular demands, let's say. But we reach out to community groups and we find out when they're going to have events. And then we start planning for those events. And we focus a lot of our marketing around it. So we reach out to church groups. We reach out to, there's a lot of, local community organizations. Like maybe you're not into badminton, subscribe to a badminton, Facebook group or something. Find out when they're having some events, all these kinds of things. Because if you focus only on your interests, that's all you're going to get. If you're really into cars and you follow car shows, probably going to get a lot of guys that you could sell product to, message Marty about being a distributor, but they might not come to you for detailing, for example. So we find out where people are going to be. So this month we're participating in a fun run. So they've got a bunch of kids getting together. Their parents are going to be there cheering on their kids, clapping, stuff like that. Their kids are going to get thirsty. So we're printing water bottles. So we've got water bottles with our logo on them. They're going to be there to quench their kids' thirst. And instead of being a toss-away water bottle, we spent a little extra and we got stainless steel water bottles. If anyone wants, I have a printing company. I'll give you a deal. Little shameless plug there. But we printed these water bottles. They're going to be there at the event. So the kid's going to take it home now. They're going to see our logo every single day, but it also offers us the opportunity to talk with them, something we can't do on Facebook. So by changing our approach and instead trying to predict where our customers are going to be, and then making sure that we're there to catch them mid-flight, that's how we can tackle that marketplace. And so that's my tip for today is think like a dragonfly. Think about interceptive marketing instead of setting a trap and hoping they fall in it or chasing customers all the time.
Do you have a lot of dragonflies in Canada?
Oh,
Canada.
Huge. Tons of them. Oh, Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you sent me that, I was like, interesting. Yeah. I've only, at least here, we really only see them if we're out on the lake.
Okay.
They're only around the water. And usually we see them on top of each other, flying and doing all their things together.
You know what's crazy about that? So first off, because they're born in the lake, right? So that's why you see them around there most times.
Oh.
Yeah. And when they're in that state, not the larva state, but whatever they are, where they're where they're underwater, they're actually just as aggressive and hungry as when they're flying.
Oh, I thought you meant when they were back to back.
No. So when they're back to back, half the time they're doing that. The other half, the male is pulling the female. She just catches a ride. Yeah. He's there just to tow her along. And then she'll go off.
Are they made forever or are they like,
you know what?
Others
that actually wasn't in the thing. That wasn't in the documentary.
Enjoy the free life.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up, but I don't know.
What do they eat?
Oh man, all kinds of shit. But they eat small things and big things, but predominantly other insects like bees, wasps, smaller insects as well. But yeah, they'll go after bees.
They eat a wasp?
Yep. Anything around the size of their head, they'll eat it, which is crazy. Yeah. And they have these teeth things that come out from the bottom. They're pretty crazy. Yeah. When you see them up close, it's nuts. And their head can turn almost like a full, it's wild. And they're wild, man. I'm gonna post the documentary I watched with this as well. It's like 20 minutes long. I'm telling you, it's
worth
it. It's in a different frame of mind.
Do you ever watch what are those green guys with the big hands? The little
praying mantis.
Praying mantis. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I love watching that. Like when they'll grab
fight one once. Those things are aggressive.
They'll sit. You talk about eating, like they'll grab and then they'll just consume the entire. We'll watch them eat a wasp, right? The wasp is still alive and they're just.
Exactly. Like, I saw one bite a lizard once, the side of his face, and he's just chewing the side of this thing's face.
It's like once they catch him,
yeah.
They don't care. Wild, You're done. I'm just gonna eat you. Like
exactly. Nature's crazy. You gotta think, man.
Eating them alive.
Like see, when people say like business is tough and this and that, like at least when you go to sleep at night, you lock your door, you close your windows. You know, these things are just out there, man. Like imagine you're just out there and shit's just like it's coming for you every day. That's wild, man.
Glad we're on the top of the food chain here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can step on them with our boots.
Business chain may be a little different. Money chain may be a little different for life. Food chain, hey, all right, man. At least I'm not getting eaten, you know.
Exactly. It's the little things, you know.
It's the little things.
Awesome, man. All right, well, thanks. Appreciate you. I got a gift next time if someone wants to earn 1,500 Play-Doh dollars.
Hunskies.
Awesome. But yeah, guys, listen to this, put some stuff in practice, keep sending us those messages. We really appreciate it. Lets us know that we're on the right track and supporting all you guys. And we'll keep taking a stand, man, and make this industry better. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Marty. We'll see you next week. And we'll have a lot more tips for you guys. All right.
No, you'll have a lot more. I'll stick to my one.
I'll stick to my bouquet. Maybe I'll do a double bouquet next week, you know? Throw it over there. Yeah. Ooh. Brace yourselves. It's coming. I'll see you next week, man. All right. Cheers.